tried to starting making movies again. I should make a movie. All I'd need is 2 girls and 1 cup. Why the cup, you may ask? Well, so I can drink coffee while getting head, obviously. What the fuck were you thinking?
Hey.
Hey, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be in here.
Any good gossip flying around?
Nothing that concerns you. Not that you'd believe me if I told you.
Come on, it's not like anything's gonna happen.
Fine. This is my time machine. It broke, and I'm trying to fix it.
That's an interesting story. Can you take a look at these schematics? A scientist named Virgil said they could get me inside the Institute.
Oh, what the fuck? Alright, you've got my attention. What do you want? And how do you know Brian Virgil?
Virgil was a scientist in the Institute, right? Did you know him?
Of course I knew him. He was in charge of the FEV program. You know, the one responsible for kidnapping people, turning them into super mutants, and releasing them back into the Commonwealth. That program created the Commonwealth's entire super mutant population. Hundreds of them. And the worst part is, the Institute gained nothing by doing it. For decades, they threw resources down that FEV rat hole, while abandoning projects like cybernetics that were showing real promise. Eventually, Virgil had a mental breakdown, destroyed the FEV lab, and escaped to the Commonwealth. That was the last I heard of him. I figured he must be dead by now.
How did you escape the Institute?
I used the distraction created by the Institute's hunt for Virgil to make up a bogus mission that required my presence on the surface. Allie Fillmore does it all the time so she can get her nethers twixt over at Fusion City. My mission request was approved almost immediately. I made copies of all my research, and once on the surface, left a small trail to make it look like I had been killed.
What is it you're working on?
I was serious when I said time travel. It's been my life's work. I made a breakthrough on the project while I was still at the Institute. When I realized how close we were to actually achieving time travel, I knew I couldn't let the technology fall into the Institute's hands. That's when I started planning my escape. It was all so simple in theory, but things started going downhill once I reached the Commonwealth.
What do you mean by that?
Long story, but ultimately I had to borrow money from a raider gang to keep my research going. When I couldn't pay back the loan, they repossessed my equipment. Of course, the raiders have no idea what to do with this stuff, but the concept of time travel intrigues them, so they let me continue my research here. I figure this is as safe a place as any to hide out from the Institute. Who's gonna look for the most advanced technology ever created by the human race in the basement of a raider strip club on the ass end of the Commonwealth?
So it is possible then?
If you mean time travel, yes. I initiated a dozen successful trips, but then the circuits shorted out and damaged several components. Until I obtain the replacement parts, the time machine is out of commission. Say, you feel like taking a trip back in time? If you can locate the parts for me, I'll let you have a go in the machine.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Here's the list of parts I need. Bring them back to me, and we'll get the time machine operational. parts.
I've been having too much fun blowing things up to think about it.
Alright, let's get you back in time. But first, I have something to confess. I didn't give you the whole story before about time travel. You see, when the Institute started researching time travel, the goal was to travel back in time to prevent the Great War. But there were competing theories of how time travel worked. Does altering the past carry over into the present? Or does the past just branch off into a new timeline with no effect on the present? Turns out, it's the latter. If the Great War had been prevented via time travel, the Institute in its present form never would have existed. So the time machine wouldn't have been built, making a trip back in time impossible. You see the paradox? Preventing the Great War just creates a new timeline with no effect on the present. When I explained those findings to the Raider crew here, I was devastated, but they were thrilled. Sam remarked, "You mean we can go back in time, do whatever we want, and there are absolutely no consequences?"
Is there a point to all this?
After indulging their fantasies of robbing banks and spending the cash at pre-war strip clubs, the crew came up with a money-making scheme. They call it the Hitler Games. It's a revenge fantasy contest. Each contestant puts in 300 caps and takes a video camera back to 1944 Germany. Whoever records the most creative kill of Adolf Hitler wins the prize money. The betting pool, less the Raider cut, was up to 2,100 caps before the time machine broke. If you want in, I'll cover your entry fee since you found the missing parts. You ready to give it a shot?
Lock and load. Let's do this.
Okay, here's the body cam. Just step right over there onto the platform.
Welcome to the 20th century. You are contestant number 8. Previous best time to kill Hitler, 14 minutes and 22 seconds. Good luck.
Yes.
Congratulations on killing Hitler. Your timeline remains unchanged. Auto-return
Excellent.
protocol initiated. Returning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey,
Any problems taking out those Nazis? Let me see how you killed Hitler.
I eat danger for breakfast. Tastes like chicken.
Holy shit! No one's ever murdered Hitler like that before. How did you get him to wear a dress? I don't think anyone's going to top that one. I'm calling it. This round's over. Here's your prize money. You should consider joining the next round in a few weeks. We're doing a Genghis Khan challenge. That's gonna massively fuck with someone's timeline.